Thousands gather to protest Planned Parenthood as videos continue to show the depravity of the abortion business. This is the CitizenLink report. Well, hi, I'm Kim Trobee. Thousands of people gathered around the U.S. this week to protest more than $500 million in taxpayer funds going to Planned Parenthood every year. This comes on the heels of videos being released from the Center for Medical Progress showing just how awful the abortion industry really is. Here's what one rally looked like in Florida. And another one in Massachusetts. And finally, this get-together in Virginia. Victoria Cobb is with the Family Foundation of Virginia, one of CitizenLink's nearly 40 allied family policy groups. She took part this week, and I sat down and talked with her about her experience.
Well, we were thrilled. We had about 500 folks out at our rally. Several others in Virginia ranged from 250 to 1,000. So we know that there were great numbers at each of these rallies. And what was really cool about them was the number of people that I met that said this is the first time they were ever coming to something like this. There's really a sense that people are being galvanized by just the understanding and maybe for some a new awareness of just how awful the abortion industry really is.
Now, that's an interesting statement for those of us who have worked in the pro-life movement for a long time, because we've known that there were things going on behind the scenes that weren't great. What part have these videos from the Center for Medical Progress played in raising people's awareness and getting them really unhappy about this finally?
Well, I don't think there's any question these videos have been painfully eye-opening to so many. Now, I think we still have a job to do in that only 50% of Americans have seen these videos. So we encouraged our folks at the rally that they need to be out sharing these videos. They need to be talking about this issue with their friends because there are still tons who haven't yet even been aware of this whole thing. But for those that have, the Planned Parenthood positive feel that a lot of folks used to have has really declined, and we're starting to actually see some polling numbers to that effect, where if you've seen the video, even if you are pro-choice, even if you had a previously favorable view of Planned Parenthood, you're shocked, dismayed, and you no longer have that view, which is just a tremendous thing. Now, my speech that I gave that day was, these are things we've always known because we are pro-life and we've been out defending the unborn, and because we have fought to have safety standards put in place for these clinics so that inspections happen, so that there was someone going into these places, because we knew that they are just not the safe haven, even for women, that they try to claim to be.
Tell me a little bit about the ages, stages, who was at the rally where you were. We talk about the youth of today being really pro-life. Were they represented there?
Well, that was the neat thing. I mean, I can certainly say that I've been to other events that have been much older population, but this was a wide range of folks in both age, in ethnicity, in background. We had a group of college kids that weren't tied to any particular group. They were a group of friends that just came out, and there were probably 20 of them. And even when the rally was over, they were still seen praying. That's really what we want to see. We know that this is affecting people of all ages. We know that young girls have been affected by abortion. We know that men have been affected by abortion, and it has hit every kind of community. And so it was really neat. You had a very strong mix of both the Catholic population and the evangelical population, and maybe some that aren't faith tied. I don't know for sure, but it was just really a great experience to have that kind of diversity at the rally.
Victoria, I know people are really shocked when they learn that Planned Parenthood is getting more than $500 million a year in taxpayer money. And when we talk about a number that large with an organization doing something like this, how important is it for us to defund that organization?
I think there's no question that the money gets to the heart of the issue. These organizations, these Planned Parenthood facilities could not operate if they didn't have that kind of tax funding. They've been able to become a giant in this nation simply because we're paying them. It's amazing, and I think Americans have been shocked and dismayed that we even allow this kind of brutality, especially when you see these videos, but then to think we're not just allowing it, we're funding it. We're actually helping it happen. And so we have got to push, especially at that federal level, to get the federal tax dollars cut.
Victoria, Planned Parenthood says if they didn't exist, health care for women would be severely impaired. That's just not the truth, is it?
No, it's a lie that they've been putting forward. Where else would these women go? Well, where they would go is that there are for every Planned Parenthood facility, there are 10 free health clinics around the country. This is not a requirement. Planned Parenthood is not a need in our community. We have these health clinics, and they do lots of the kinds of things that Planned Parenthood claims to do without the abortion. They do the STD treating. They do the pre-screenings for cancer and that kind of thing, which Planned Parenthood barely even does that stuff. They just try to use that as the sort of smoke and mirrors, what they're going to hide behind, so that they are not simply an abortion industry, which is the reality of if you look at what their 990 show, if you look at their profit, that's where it's coming from. It's not coming from really helping women. It's coming from the abortion.
Well, Victoria, like I said in the beginning, we are so proud to work with the Family Foundation of Virginia. You are one of CitizenLink's allied partners, and we appreciate you so very much.
Well, we appreciate you all being there at the national level to tie us all together and put some strength behind our efforts.
If you'd like to find an allied group in your state, just go to CitizenLink.com and click on the orange map on the homepage. And remember, stand tall and be heard.